Hi guys, hi everybody. Hope you're doing well. This is the FPL Duo. We're back. We did say we will have content coming out um, in the off season. So, I know it's quiet right now. Season's just finished, and but we're still gonna have little bits coming out for you leading up to the season. So today's video, as you can see by the title, is called the FPL 2021-22 season breakdown. We're going to break down each of our seasons, how we both performed, and look in a more in depth, statistical analysis. Where we did a review, a very short one on Sunday, or the season ended, but we didn't fully go into how we did week by week. So we're just going to go in week by week. We're going to talk about how it went and certain players that standed out to us for the season. We'll do like a little awards as well, where we talk about the players that we were that performed really well in our team, players that underperformed, and also just give our thoughts on the season as a whole. And so that's the plan for today. Before we get into that, how's everything, Jordan? How you been?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Not been too bad.
All right. Yeah, obviously the season's ended now. Shame last week, or not last week, or feels like a long time ago now, like 2 3 days ago. Obviously, Champions League final. Unfortunately, we didn't win that. So yeah, let's talk about the season that just went though, the Premier League season, 21-22. Um, and we're gonna discuss how we did. Um, if you guys remember, I think I said my rank was 22k or 23k, but I actually ended up finishing on 25,587 overall rank. I got a small green arrow in the final game week, which is unfortunate, but it is still my best ever season. So we take that all day. But yeah, let's move on. What do you want to come on to first, Jordan? Should we go on to week by week how we did, or should we bring in the slides of the comparisons?
We could bring in the size of the comparisons first, I
Okay,
guess. Just for
okay. So we're gonna add the slides, guys. So basically, if you haven't heard, there's this app called the Playmaker app, and now it's a very good app to track your rank, um, live rank. So sometimes FPL, the FPL website is slow to update. So what me and Jordan do is we use the Playmaker app because it's a bit quicker and faster. So and they do like a highlights reel at the end of the season, and it puts your best bits together. So we thought we'd take that and then um, show you guys. But we are not sponsored by Playmaker app. We're just an app that we enjoy. So yeah, so let's bring it up. So this is the first page. So just to confirm, um, my rank was 25,587, and last season was 42,396. So this is my best season. I've only played 2 seasons. Well, let's say I've only played 2 seasons properly, because I've played years ago when I was younger, but I never did it seriously like this. So 2 seasons playing seriously, and that's the rank. So yeah, what about you, Jordan?
so obviously this is my first fantasy football season. I finished off with 2,213 points in total,
Mm,
with a rank of 1.1 mil, pretty much.
mm-hmm.
I was aiming to get to maybe 500k rank, but things weren't going my way through the later stages of the season. I was at 700k. That's probably the highest I reached, but after that it just went tumbling down to near the 900k and 1 mil sort of area. I was just bouncing up and down, not really gaining any height in my rank. It was just like a snakes and ladders effect where I was going up and then I went down again,
Yeah.
and it was just constantly through the whole season to the end where I finished on 1.1 mil.
Okay. So we've got that out the way where we finished, ended up. This is Jordan's first season, obviously, if you guys know, and it's probably my second season playing properly. So let's move on now to the next section of the video, and that is, so these are the highlights of our season. We're just going to go through. So basically, game week 1, as we all know, Fernandez, got a hat trick against Leeds, I believe, and he got a 20-point haul, and we both owned him. Did you captain Fernandez first week?
I did captain
Oh, okay.
Fernandez
So
first
I
week.
went with Salah, I think, and then Salah also got 2 goals. So either way, it was good. But yeah, Fernandez did start the season off great with a 20-point haul, and both of us had him in our team. So that was probably the first big positive of the season. I think he was owned by the 87% of the top 10k owned him at the start. So he was a very popular pick in most of our teams. Moving on, this is an interesting slide because this is our top captains. So I had 12 different captains this season. Salah, I captained 20 times. I captained Ronaldo 4 times. I captained Harry Kane 4 times. Son had my captain's armband twice, and then Vegas at 1. What about you, Jordan?
I had 14 different captain picks, and my top 5 captain picks were starting with Salah, who I got captained 16 times, followed by Fernandez, who I captained 3 times, followed by Ronaldo, the same 3 times, and Kane 3 times, and then finally Coutinho, who I captained 2 times. So
Hmm.
it's quite similar, apart from
Yeah.
Coutinho, Weghorst, and Son.
Yeah, well, as you can see, Salah has been the standout player, I'd say, this FPL season. Um, that's 5 seasons in a row now where I think Salah's scored over 250 points. I think he is the undisputed FPL GOAT. I don't think anyone's, from what I've seen, he is the best scoring, consistency wise, the best there's been. How many points did he get? I think just over 250, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely surpassed 250 points.
Yeah, his best ever was obviously his first season he joined. I think he got like 300 plus points. So, yeah, Salah's another great season from him, FPL wise. He did dip off at the end of the season, but overall, as you can see, 20 captains from me, 16 times by Jordan. He was the standout player, really. So that's some of the highlights, I'll say. Moving on to our best captain returns. Uh, I captained Salah in game week 26, and he did get me 56 points. Salah, I also captained in game week 9, which I was believing Old Trafford when he got the hat trick. He got me 48 points. I also captained Bowen in that double game week, I think it is, the double game week 21. 42 points is all there. Game week 37, Richarlison, 38 points, which I was very happy about. And then, game week 28, Reece James also got me 36 points. So quite a lot of decent hauls in there. So those were my best captain returns of the season. Jordan's is quite similar, I'd say, to mine. But talk us through your ones as well, Jordan.
Yeah, so obviously the top 2 are the exact same as Huss's. So Salah in game week 26 and game week 9. We scored the same amount. So we'll move on to Coutinho, who in game week 28 scored me 46. I was very chuffed in that game week to captain Coutinho. It was a good feeling, which did pay off with the 46 points. So I was quite happy with that return. And then followed by Bowen in the earlier stages of the game week in 21. He got me 42 points. At that time, Bowen was quite a hot wire at that point where not many people really owned him, and he was quite underneath the radar until he got that massive return in game week 21. So that was good to jump on the wagon before he was too template. And then finally, we got Kane, who I triple captained in game week 29, who got me 42. I was hoping for a little bit more from that one, but
Hmm.
still from a triple captain, point of view, that's not too bad. 42 points, so I was happy
Yeah.
with that.
So yeah, those are the captaincy returns, which is quite similar as well. Obviously, Salah is dominating the top of our list both times. Bowen also another great season from him. Richarlison I had, which is a bit different. You've got Bowen I see as well. But yeah, so decent captain picks there from both of us. Moving on, these are just correct captaincy calls. So 38 game weeks, 26 times my captain returned. So majority of the time I did get the captain pick right, which shows that you're making some good decisions and everything. And my the highest scoring player, I've picked 7 out of the 38 game weeks. I picked the highest scoring player. I see Jordan's beat me out on that one, the last one. So yeah, talk us through, Jordan.
So I got 24 out of 38 captain returns in the game weeks, which isn't too bad considering my rank is low, and you would think my rank would be high with that many captain returns. But followed by picking my highest scoring player, 11 out of 38 times in the game weeks. That again, I'm surprised that I didn't think I had 11 out of 38 high scoring players in those game weeks, but that's a good stat to see from the point of view.
And then also we're both the same. Game week 9 was very interesting. If you guys remember, Salah had Manchester United at Old Trafford, and Havertz had Norwich at home. And a lot of people, or 87% of the top 10k, so most of the elite managers in the game, decided to captain Havertz over over Salah, and it backfired massively. I think Havertz blanked in that game, and then obviously Salah went and done a madness with a 48 point haul or whatever it was against Man United with a hat trick. And game week 9, I got a massive green arrow breaking into the top. Like I can't remember. I think I might have broken to the top 10k that week. I think I was in the top 3k, and this was just before we started the channel. So that decision paid off big time, and a lot of people went with Havertz. I did find it surprising at the time. I'm not just saying that in hindsight because Salah was on fire, and at that time during the season and playing Man United, I didn't see him scoring a hat trick. I'll be honest, but he was on such a fire that early on during the season. I was surprised to see people went with Havertz, but both of us are lucky. I'd say we were on the right end of that decision. What would you say, Jordan?
Yeah, that was quite a very good and bad outcome for us. It was good, but for many people, especially in the top 10k, it was very bad because you would think with Chelsea against Norwich, you would think Chelsea would have a very good game for Norwich, but obviously no, it didn't pay off. It wasn't to be for Havertz, who was
Well,
the
I think they won that game like 3 or 4-0. Let me just double check. Chelsea. The thing was, they did score quite a lot in that game, but yeah, that's the interesting thing, Jordan. They won that game 7-0.
7-0.
Yeah, 23rd of October, game week 9, Chelsea won 7-0, and Havertz wasn't even involved in any of the goals. So Mason Mount got a hat trick, Callum Hudson-Odoi got one, Reece James got one, Chilwell got one, and then was an own goal as well.
Oh yeah, I think I
So it was
remember
very
this.
surprising that he didn't come on a score sheet after Chelsea scored 7. So you could have, this one of those ones where you get a bit lucky because he could have easily got one of the goals. If you had Mason Mount, he also massively hauled that week as he did get a hat trick. So it is one of those. But yeah, both of us were on the right end of the of
Yeah,
the of the decision.
it was a big gamble that paid off.
Now we're on our best game weeks. As you guys can see, my best game week of the season was game week 29, where I did use the triple captain. I ended up getting 123 points that game week, and my overall rank, sorry, my game week rank was 17k that week. My second best was the free hit. I think that was free hit number two. Game week 37, yeah, free hit number two. I got 115 points. Game week 28, I also got 140 points on my bench boost. And then game week 21, I did get 94 points. And then game week one, where I did really well for the first game week, I got 107 points. So I do have a couple of hundred points in a game week in. I think I got four. So, I also think I've used the chips quite well. Every time I've used the chip, pretty much, I've got 100 points plus. So the chip strategy for me has worked out. Especially, I'd say the bench boost in 28, 140 points. I was very happy with that. But I got to say, game week 29 was probably one of my better game weeks because I got 123 points that week, and that was a very low scoring week, I think, game week 29. And I ended up shooting up quite a lot in the ranks. So, yeah, those are my best game weeks and when I use the chips. What are you, Jordan?
Yeah, so my best game weeks consisted of game week 24, where I got 98 points, and that was my highest game week rank, which was 40,823. So that it came late, I guess, for that to happen in that game week rank, but still significant. I think that week was again low scoring from a few people rather than high scoring game week for everyone. But I was quite happy with that game week. I don't actually remember who did well in that game week, but for the rank wise, it was very well good.
Yeah.
Followed by, this is going to probably make people question this, but in game week 4, I used the wild card, and that got me 81 points with a game week rank of 196k. At the time, obviously, because this is my first season, I was using chips, not at the right time, obviously. I kind of assumed that you use a chip and you get it back the next week, sort of thing. So at that time, I was thinking, yeah, I'll just use this wild card and see next week if I can use another one. But nonetheless, I still got 81 points at that time, which I wasn't really aware of how good that was. But when I used it, so it kind of worked out, I guess. Followed by game week 21, where I got 85 points with a 252k game week rank. Still not bad. It's an average haul of points for that game week. 85 is not too bad for a game week. Been many there where there's not been much consistency in point wise, but again, that was a good game week to have 85 points on. And then in game week 28, I used my second wild card, where it benefited more from that, where I got 119 points and a game week rank of 266k. It's quite weird that it's less of a game week rank than game week 4, but I do think that was a high scoring game week for 28 for everyone. So that explains why the game week rank is not as high as the one in game week 4. And then finally in game week 11, which was my lowest game week in terms of best, it was 63 points with almost 500,000 game week rank.
Okay, so that is our best game weeks. So there you go, guys. There are the 5 highlights of the season. Let's move on now to the most points benched. So in game week 11, as you can see on the right, is my team. I had 20 points on the bench. So Foster had 11 points, Duffy had 2 points, Livermento had 6 points, and then Brownhill had a point. And I had 20 points that didn't play. So quite frustrating that I benched that many points, especially Foster for an 11 pointer. But yeah, what about you, Jordan? I see you've beaten me there as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, for Ben Foster, it was not bad as it was 0. But Basuma got 8 points for being on the bench. It wasn't doing well for me, really, Basuma, but that 8 points came out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from. Can't remember, but it's still annoying when you get points
I think he
on your
scored it.
bench.
I think he scored that week. Obviously, the first game, second game week, and
Yeah,
Brighton had a good performance.
yeah, it was a weird one. Obviously, Wolves 0 points, but and then Duffy with the 14-point haul, which
Yeah, clean sheet
was
and a goal, I think.
yeah, clean sheet they got. That was quite extraordinary
So
because
yeah,
that was it for Duffy. I don't think he got anything else after that really.
so 22 points on the bench for you in game week 2, and then 20 points for me on the bench in game week 11. The luckiest subs. So as you can see on the right, in game week 31, Trent went off and Doherty came on for me on a sub, and Doherty ended up getting 14 points. So that is the luckiest sub for me this game week. What about you, Jordan?
My lucky sub was Cancelo, who didn't start in game week 25, came on for my bench player, who was Tariq Lamptey, who got a 12-point, I think, haul from that game. He got a clean sheet and a goal, I think, from that game, and bonus
Mhm.
one. So that was a
Okay.
good one. There's a lot of involvement for Brighton on my part in this.
Yeah, realized.
It was a bit crazy.
So the best transfer of my season apparently is in game week 7, is when I took Trent out and I brought in Aspilicueta, who ended up getting me 10 points. So not bad. Jordan?
My best transfers of this season came really late in game week 37, where I took Seller out for Son, who got 3 points, and then Dennis for Watkins, who got 10 points, and that was for a -4 hit, which left me with 13 points from those two transfers. So it did pay off, as
Okay.
obviously states.
All right, not bad subs there for sorry, not bad transfers there. Um Moving on. This is probably some of our this is more of our lows of the season. So
Yeah.
as you can see, both of us captain Dennis, and in double game week 23, where he had two fixtures, and he ended up getting a red card in that game. And I still remember that game week because it was crazy. We all went Dennis. I think so. As you can see, 44% of the top 10k also captained him, so he was very highly captained that week. And yeah, he goes and gets a red card.
Yeah,
Do you remember that game?
yeah, I do. Unfortunately, it was a horrible week in double game 23. We had high hopes for Dennis in those two fixtures, but it wasn't to be at all. I think he was left with -2 points at the end of the double game week, so it was a
Yeah,
terrible week
yeah,
for
terrible
most
captain.
people.
That was probably one of my worst game weeks. But yeah, let's move on now to the next part of the video, and these are the highest scoring players that we never owned. So mine's Van Dyke. I never owned Van Dyke because I had Robertson. I chose Robertson ahead of Van Dyke, and Van Dyke did end the season 183 points, which is obviously very very good for a defender. But as you can see, the player I did bring in, Jordan, is the one that didn't own. So I missed. I didn't have Van Dyke for the season, and Jordan.
Yeah, my highest scoring player I never owned was Robertson with 186 points this season.
Two
So
Liverpool defenders.
yeah,
Obviously, Liverpool had a great season defensively. You know, a lot of bonus points that they picked up, especially Van Dijk picks up a lot of bonus points. And I think next season we're probably going to have double at the back in our first draft teams for next season. But yeah, moving on. These are the highest scoring differentials that we owned. So in game week 9, I owned Foden, who was only 5.5% owned, and he got me 18 points. So very happy about that. Foden in game week 9. I think I got a massive. That's the week when Salah got a hat trick as well at Old Trafford. So Salah got a hat trick at Old Trafford. Foden got me 18 points. Huge green arrow. I started off the season very well, but then obviously dipped a bit from that game week 9. What about yours, Jordan?
my highest scoring differential that I owned was Nketiah in game week 36, where his ownership was 8.3%, a little bit higher than yours, and he returned me 15 game week points. I was quite chuffed with this one because obviously with Arsenal, Lacazette and ruled out from the Arsenal team, and then Nketiah played, and then Arteta said he wished he played Nketiah more in the team, and
Yeah.
therefore after that he literally played every game, which gave a lot of hopes for bringing him in just to see what he does because he is a good player to have,
Hmm.
and he is a potential eye opener for the next season as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
he was a great differential that I owned personally.
Let's talk about the biggest troll. Now,
Oh gosh.
so these are the players that we transferred out, and then they go on and have a massive haul, basically. So in game week 26, I think it was a double game week 26, I transferred out Brownhill, and then he ends up going getting 16 points that week, which is mad because he barely ever scores. He did score that week in the double game week. So yeah, 16 points Brownhill, transfer him out, and then he goes and does that. And I can see it's similar for you. And I believe that's against Man United when De Bruyne.
Yeah,
I remember that you were annoyed about that.
very annoyed because De Bruyne, he was getting the odd assist and goal here and there, but sometimes blanking most of the time. As soon as I transfer him out in game week 28, guess what he does? Scores 2 goals
Yeah,
and
I
gets
remember
an
the two
18
goals
point
against Man
haul.
United.
Utterly annoying. Like he's been quiet, not doing much, and then suddenly bursts out with 2 goals after I've transferred him out in
Yep.
game week 28.
So yeah, those are the biggest trolls for us this season: Brownhill and De Bruyne. Moving on is another bit of a negative. Whoever captained Salah in double game week 26 enjoyed a monster haul. So I didn't captain Salah into game week 26. Neither did Jordan, I believe. So we did miss out on that massive Salah haul. I think it was an 84-point haul, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really high. I
I think it was
mean,
84 points. Let us know if anyone was how many points did Salah get in game week 26. I believe it was 84 points if you captained him, which is mad. And yeah, both of us didn't have him because that I remember that week I wildcarded that week. That's why I was gonna triple captain Salah. Sorry, my bad. It was 84 points because most people triple captained him obviously in it that week. Because I
yeah,
was gonna triple captain Salah, but I changed my mind last minute and I wildcarded in 26. So yeah, Salah did get 84 points because I'm triple captain, which was mad, and that didn't really pay off for me. I should have probably captained Salah, but it's one of those you miss out on, I guess. But yeah,
yeah,
what a haul. Um, Now we're going to look at the chips we played with very quickly. So I played my first free hit in game week 27, got 55 points. I played my bench boost in game week 28, got 136 points. I played my triple captain in game week 29 and I got 115 points. And I played my second free hit in game week 37 and I got 115 points as well. So 3 game weeks where I've used my chip, I've got over 100 points. I'm very happy about my chip usage this game week. I thought very carefully about when I was going to play my chips and everything. So yeah, those are the chips out the way. What about you, Jordan?
the chips I played this season a bit more underwhelming. Like this is going to be another shocker for people. Well, I played a free hit, my first free hit in game week 2. That is for literally the same reason where I didn't know how chips worked at that time. Strategy wise, I used a free hit and it returned me with 53 points. So it wasn't the greatest of free hits, but then again, I didn't really know the fancy
Hmm.
football at that time and what chip strategies were and whatnot. But a better improvement was in game week 26 when I used my second free hit, and that returns me 128 points, which is doubled more points than what I got in the first free hit. So it was a great improvement. And then my triple captain I used in 29, where I triple captained Harry Kane, and that returned me 97 points, which wasn't too bad of a return for a triple captain. I did hope for a little bit more, but that is still a plus, I guess, instead of a
Hmm.
non-blank return for a triple captain C option. And then in game week 36, I used my bench boost and got 86 points. I will be honest, my bench boost wasn't great at all Literally, there wasn't any significant points from that bench boost at all. It was horrible. It was just mainly points from players playing twice in the matches, and that was it, really.
Fair enough. Oscar says hello, boys.
Oh, hey, Oscar.
Shout out to Oscar. Now let's move on to the next part, and these are the hits we've taken this season. So I took 12 hits. I think I took 12 hits this season, which is 48 points. I basically lost out on. So yeah, 12 hits for me this season, which is the average in the top 10k was 57.7, which is 14 hits. So 14 hits is the average in the top 10k this season, and I took just under that. So yeah. What about you, Jordan?
I literally took double what you took in terms of hits. So I took 24 hits this season, and that lost me 96 points. So it was pretty much a double blow in terms of hits. I didn't realize I even took 24 hits, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But that's a quite shocker, that is.
That's right. I tried to keep the hits to a minimum. I think 12 over a season. It's not too bad. And these are our longest green arrows. So my streak was 5. So 5 game weeks in a row, I had a green arrow, which was from 25 to 29. So yeah, 5, surprisingly quite low. But it is what it is. I think it is quite hard to get consecutive green arrows. So 5 game weeks in a row, green arrow. I see Jordan obviously 7 is quite impressive.
Yeah, I think in terms for where I was in my rank, I think green arrows were more easier to get because I was in the minion ranking in that particular area for pretty much the whole season almost. Well, Gaming 24, I think, was the start of where it was going back up again from being red constantly up until Gaming 30, where it all went down and up and down, bouncing up and down. But it was a good run between Gaming 24 and Gaming 30.
Okay. And these are the longest red arrow streaks we had. So from game week 13 to game week 16, I had 4 green arrows in a row. And that's surprisingly, I started this YouTube channel with Jordan in game week 16. So just literally the end of my green for my red arrows, my biggest red arrows or streak of the season. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But Jordan, you beat me out on that one as well.
Only by 1. So I had 3 red arrow streaks between game week 5 and 7. Can't honestly remember that, but yeah, it was.
That's very early on in the season.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah,
testing waters.
Got a comment here from Oscar says, "Are you going to make a video about players to look out for coming up from the championship?" Yes, we will be doing that, Oscar. We will have a lot more content coming out. We'll be doing a video. The next video we do will be on the price predictions. So we will predict prices for certain players that we think are interesting for next season. So watch out for the price predictions video. And we will also put in maybe some championship gems that we think could be good for next season. We will do our research and we'll provide a video out for you soon. So subscribe to the channel, like the video and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. So yeah, these are our dream teams. So these are the best scoring players for our teams. So Sanchez in goal, 69 points for me. Trent, Cancelo, Robertson, Salah, Bowen, Jota, Son, Rafinha, and then Kane and Antonio. And that's my dream team. So these are the best scoring players that we had this season. But yeah, it looks pretty template as you'd expect because these are probably the most popular players. But I was quite lucky. I jumped on some of them quite early, I'd say as well. I think your team's very similar as well, Jordan, obviously.
Yeah, quite. There's only 1 or 2 differences. Again, there is a higher point difference because I did bring in players later on than I did with Huss's, especially with Salah. I think I brought him in really late. As you can see, I brought him in 25 game weeks, but Huss had him for 32. So I was a bit late on bringing Salah in because at the time I did not know how good Salah was in terms of fantasy, how good the asset he was. But for the rest of the team, it's quite similar. Apart from Coutinho, who I had for 13 game weeks, he got me
Yeah.
104 points. I was quite happy with that, as it was quite different. Not many people had Coutinho early on in the game, in the
I had
season.
I only had Son for 8 game weeks, which is not high enough. I think not having Son has definitely hurt my rank in terms of potentially breaking into that top 10k and everything. But overall, I can't really complain. I think my highest owned players was Salah, 32 game weeks. I also had Trent for 30 game weeks. Cancelo is another template player I had for 22 game weeks. So also Antonio, I had him for 23 game weeks, which I maybe kept. I maybe another mistake. I held on to him for too long. So yeah, those are the best scoring players, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed that part of the video. Those were the highlights and the lowlights, I'd say, of our season. Um, Now let's bring it to the FPL website again and just quickly break down from week by week how we did. Just bringing my team up now. Can you see that properly on the screen, Jordan?
Yep.
So as you guys can see, game week 1, I got 107 points, which I was very happy about. Game week 2, 80 points. My rank went to 69k. And I got another green arrow to 60k. In game week 3, I was very happy, but then I got a red arrow all the way down to 72k. Now, game week 5 is where something interesting happened. So, game week 5, I ended up getting 77 points. As you guys can see, 77 points was actually very good for that game week because, it was a low scoring game week, if I remember. So, my game week rank was 325k, and I got a green arrow all the way up to 16k. So, game week 5, game weeks in, I had a 16k rank. So I'm just zooming quickly so you guys can see that better. Is that a bit better? Yeah, that is a bit better.
Yeah.
So yeah, game week 5, I had a 16k rank, which stayed pretty much until game week 8 is when it was getting exciting for me. So in game week 8, I scored 71 points, and then my rank was 4.8k that it went all the way up to, and then it gets a bit better. Game week 9 is the week where I captained Salah against Man United for his hat trick. I also had Foden in my team. I end up getting 106 points, and then my rank goes all the way to 1.9k. So that's the highest I've ever been during an FPL season, 1.9k. After that, things get a bit worse. I get 2 red arrows in a row, 48k. Then I get another small green arrow to 3.7k, and keep going down. Game week 13 a red arrow, game week 14 red arrow, and this is where my season kind of went a bit downhill, I'd say. So I was at, let's say I was at 2k or 1.9k, and then 2 red arrows, pretty much, and then this was the killer week. I went from 9k in game week 14 to 16k in game week 15, and then 26k. Game week 16 was not kind to me, and game week 16 is also the week I started YouTube. If you guys remember, the first game week 16 is when I started making the content. So that's the one I got the massive the massive red arrow. But before that, as you guys can see, I was doing really well. My rank was 1900 up there. And then, so now game week 16 is, 26k, got a little, green arrow, and then massive red arrow again to 37, then another bigger red arrow in game week 19 to 80k, and then slowly I'm recovering. Went back up to 41 in game week 21, and then 107k I was at in game week 24. So I went from let's show you. I went from 1.9k in game week 9 to 107k in game week 24, and that's the first time of this season I've been out the top 100k game week 24. Then I bounce back a bit. I get a green arrow 25, and at this point I was very annoyed at my season. Obviously, getting 3 red arrows in a row, and then this is probably the best part of my season so far in terms of green arrows. I get 5 on the bounce, so I go to 88k, then 82k. Game week 28 was very good for me. I think I used my chip there. I went all the way back up to 30k, then 17k, and then things get a bit bad again. I end up, getting 4 red arrows in a row, 25, 26, 32, then end up on 33k. And then I floated around this 30k mark for probably, from game week 30 to about 38. So I got up to 29, and then annoyingly, big red arrow back to 50k. Game week 37 very much saved me. I think I used my free hit, and obviously I had a very good free hit. Richarlison and all these guys ended up going up to 23k, which I was very happy about. And then last game of the season, so last game week of the season, I did get a small red arrow to 25k, and that is where I ended at 25,587. So it has been a bit up and down. Game week 9 was amazing, going up to 1.9k, which I never thought I'd get there. And then it got really bad in the middle of the season. I'm not trying to make any excuses, but COVID, the Aston Villa game getting called off after the deadline, a lot of some of the stuff like that it did affect my my thinking, because I remember I bought in Watkins, and then that game gets called off soon as after I transfer him in, which was very annoying, I think, during those times as well. But yeah, I can't really complain. But as you guys can see, just breaking down my season, how it went, how many hits I've taken, not taking many hits, 12 hits, to end up on 25k, which I think is still a respectable rank. Very good rank nowadays, I think, with the amount of people playing seriously. These are the game weeks I used all my chips. So as you can see, and then yeah, I ended up the season on 2,585 points. So hopefully that's kind of breaking down the week by week basis. So great start to the season. Not a great middle, and then I ended it fairly strong, I'd say, to recover again back into 25k. So yeah, what did you think of the season, Jordan? Now you see how it was week by week, how I did. Any thoughts?
I did not realize you were at one point in 1,900 rank.
Yeah, I was, man. Game week 9 after the Salah hat trick against United.
At that point, that must have been ecstatic.
Yeah, it felt great.
Yeah,
it's it's very hard to stay in that. Once you're in the top 10k, well, I was in the top 2k, and once you're in there, it's very hard to stay up there, because it's just 1 or 2 points separating you guys, and any bad transfer picks or any bad captain picks or anything, you're coming back down again pretty much very quickly. As you can see, I didn't last long. I didn't last too long in there, did I? Let me just see. How long was I in the top 10k for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. So I was in the top 10k for 7 weeks, and then the rest, around 20, 30k, I'd say, pretty much. Even went all the way to 100k. See, I did drop out. So at that, game week 24, I was very, very annoyed. I think a lot of people start playing their chips though. I didn't use any chips till like game week 27, I believe. So I did do well to. I think a lot of people start using the chips around here when I start getting a lot of red arrows, especially here. And also, I remember Bruno Fernandes, I missed out on that massive haul he had. I went Ronaldo instead of Bruno, and that cost me like 40-point swing. But yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting season, obviously, because of the extra free hits and whatnot that happened, like you mentioned.
Hossam Salem says, thanks for a lot for the video. And anytime, appreciate the comment.
You're welcome.
It says, for me, I moved from 44k after game week 36 to 77k after game week 38. Oof, that is quite tough. But yeah, still top 100k is still a decent rank, man. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan, let's bring up your season. and how you did.
Oh yes, here we
Breakdown.
go.
Obviously, it's your first season, so
Yeah,
I think next season, obviously, you'll be
yeah,
much, playing after a full season. I think you'll be much better.
yeah. I definitely have high hopes for me as well because when I started off with it, I was not really intertwined with fantasy football. It was sort of like a mess around
Yeah,
in the
you were playing for a
first.
bit for like just casual playing in it, and then we thought
Yeah,
was that I was playing seriously for about 2 years. I played before many years ago, but I never played like this where I do seriously every week, planning my transfers and everything, looking at stats, XG, all of that stuff. And here we are, guys, with the FPL channel now. So
yeah,
let's see how we do next season. Hopefully, we can beat our ranks, both of us.
yeah. I definitely have high hopes that I can definitely beat my rank of 1.1 mil. But here we go. As you see on the screen, we start off in game week 1 where I got 69 points, and my first rank was 3.4 mil. So it was very low, considerably. And then as we continue through the game weeks, it didn't really move anywhere up until
When did you get
game.
your first movement? I'd say
I
possibly
see.
game week 15. We halved it pretty
Uh,
much. Well, sort of. Went it down to 2 mil.
yeah, it was 2.3 in game week 4, and then it went back down and down again and down again. Then it went back up a little bit from a green arrow in game week 8. Then it subsided again, 4 mil again.
We
And
didn't make the content though till game week 16, I believe. There's also it'll be interesting to see if any change since you started playing a bit more seriously.
yeah, so in game week 16, I was 3.2 mil, still in that sort of area, 3 mil area. And then after, as we've since been playing FPL, green arrow. Then I got a green arrow again in game week 18 where I got 2.6 mil. Little slight red arrow in game week 19, and then a green arrow in 2.5 mil. That was actually a big green arrow. Then this one was probably my biggest green arrow in game week 21 where I got 85 points, and that was a 600k green arrow jump
Mm.
from 2.5 to 1.9. So I did break in the one just over the
2 mil, just inside
2
2 mil.
mil, yeah, 2 mil gap for the first time this season. And then it's a slight red arrow, and then another red arrow again back in 2 mil. But then I had a huge green arrow in 24 again, which jumped me into 1.5 mil, which is at that point the highest rank I achieved. And then after that, it was going very well, like green arrow, green arrow. I think it was 7 green arrows in a row, to the
Yeah, I
point
mean
where in game,
700k.
yeah, this was my happiest where I was at 700k. I sort of had hopes in game week 30 that I could reach the top 500k, but after game week 30, it all went downhill. So in game week 31, I got red arrow, which dropped me back down to 895. Then I had another severe red arrow in game week 32, where it was only 36 points scored in that game week, a very low game week.
A
Sent
lot
me
of people
back to,
start playing the chips there as well, didn't they?
yeah, and that sent me back to the 1 mil rank. And then pretty much from game week 32 to the end of the season, it was just like snakes and ladders. It was jumping from 900 to 1 mil all throughout. And then finally on the last game week, I finished on 1.1 mil, which was actually a red arrow, considering I only got 54 points from that game week. So yeah, it was all good and all at game week 29. I say that was my best highlight moment in terms of rank, considering I started really low in terms of where I was in the 4 mil area. To get to 765 rank, I'd say that's an achievement, as
Mm-hmm.
I've been learning the ways of fantasy since game week 16, where I took it more serious as we were starting content on it like we are at the moment. So I do have high hopes for next season that I can easily surpass 1.1 mil and potentially be in the top 100k.
Hmm. Yeah. So that has been the breakdown, guys. That's been we've broke down game by game, game week by game week, our season and how we did. Um, and we've looked into our highlights of our season and the highs and lows, how we did. With hopefully you've understood our season a bit better. And yeah, we've been going for about 50 minutes now. We'll probably wrap the stream up soon. Um, so yeah, guys, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Also, subscribe if you're new around here, because we have a lot more content to come during the summer. We're going to be doing our next video, probably in a couple of days' time, where we'll do a price prediction for next season regarding some players. So watch out for that video, and we'll also have a lot more uh, to come in this. So obviously, we're not going to do as much during the summer. Obviously, the off season, we know people don't watch as much the FPL content, but when the season starts back up again in August, content will be out every week, and yeah, we hope it's going to be a good one next season. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe and drop a like, and we'll probably wrap the stream up here. Jordan, is there anything else you'd like to add?
That's pretty much everything. I don't think there's anything else to add really from this video. We've had a great season in terms of talking
Mhm.
about highs and lows, and yeah, we're just waiting for next season really for it
Yep,
to all start all over again.
yep, we will do. We'll be back again when the season starts. But for now, do keep an eye on us for the content. And yeah, guys, that's been it from us, from me and Jordan, the FPL duo. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope to see you on the next one. Take it easy, guys, and we'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
Peace.
See you soon, guys.